Again, let's get the likes up, people. A lot of these black children, these black youths, are growing up in this environment with mothers that don't want them. They only have the children to keep them away from the father because they hate him so much they don't want him to have the children. So it's her way of keeping something from him. It's just like, you know, when you break up with a woman and she refuses to let you get your stuff out of her house. So the kids are just a bargaining chip. That's all they are. And when that doesn't work, they abandon the children. Those children are going to be scarred for life from this. She should never have custody of those children ever again. And the sad thing is that those children are probably going to be separated because, as someone said in the chat, the eldest is that particular man's daughter, but the youngest isn't. Of course, she got multiple kids by different men. I saw someone in the chat say that she has a third child. These heifers are too busy making videos about the passport bros. But what about these single mothers in these communities who are destroying their children, and nobody wants to talk about this? You want to blame white supremacy. But did white supremacy make this woman abandon her children? This is a disgusting human being, this woman here is. This woman was arrested for assaulting a repo man. This is the type of heifer we're talking about here. She should never have custody of her children again. Shout out to greatness.
She was arrested a couple years ago for assaulting a repo man.
Right.
How does she have custody of the kids after that?
I don't know. Because
women and court system work together.
The court system wants the children around these women. The court system wants broken and destroyed homes because they can siphon money from the men, and these children get raised destroyed. Why do you think these men are so emotional? When you see these crimes of passion, you see how emotional these males are, it's because they grew up with an emotional mother. They didn't have a father in their life. When you see these dysfunctional women who don't know how to keep a man, but they can get online and tell everybody what's wrong with everybody but themselves. A lot of y'all don't want to hear about yourselves, but this is the reality. A lot of you are not fit to be mothers. You're not fit to be mothers. You are a disgrace. Just like this one. But there's a lot of women like this who abandon their children to go chase after some man. They want to, they are so selfish. And again, if you women don't want to be a mother, just say so. Stop accepting children that you don't want. A child is not going to keep a man. But a lot of you heifers think that if you have a child by a man, he's going to want to stay with you. No, he is not. You're delusional. You're a psycho. You need help. You need to be healed. You don't need to be chasing men. I guarantee you this heifer's laid up with some male. This disgusting, despicable, worthless woman is laid up with some man instead of worrying about her children. She's a fake wannabe struggle Instagram model. She out there trying to procreate again because that's what they do. They get with some new guy and they end up wanting to have another child to keep him because these women were raised wrong. This is what decades of social programs can do. Now, I don't think all social programs are bad, but the Section 8, well, that has destroyed a lot of people because you have a lot of entitlement. You got a lot of these women that believe that if I have a few children, I can get assistance, and that's what they work towards instead of working towards getting a job and getting your children out of these bad environments. Because yes, I would never want to raise my child in a war-torn black neighborhood. I mean, I know that's going to piss you off, but who cares? I'm talking about my family, and I don't want them to grow up in a drug-infested, gang-infested neighborhood. It is what it is. The only people that are safe are the foreigners, because y'all don't do nothing to them, and they bully you in your own communities. But if you look at this woman's house, I wouldn't be surprised if she's in one of those areas where they build like housing for people who get government assistance. That had to be, because this woman cannot be working a 9-to-5 job, living living in, because again, that house doesn't look like it's in a bad area. It must be one of those housing that Steph Curry don't want in his backyard. You know what I'm saying? They trying to build housing near his backyard. He's like, oh no, y'all not bringing them Negroes up here. We moved away from them. Y'all trying to move them over here. This woman failed her children. She failed herself. A lot of you black women are screwed up. You need psychological help. You don't need to be taking care of no children, but y'all can't help yourself. You think that a man is going to keep you, a man is going to stay with you if you have his child. That's weirdo, obsessed mentality to have. And this woman is the face of failure. And we're going to get into the article because I want all of you to see this. This woman left her children because she's out here chasing some man that really don't even want her like that. Like a lot of you heifers do. A lot of you heifers are out here chasing men that don't want you. That's what you do. You chase behind men that want absolutely nothing to do with you. And then you get online and you want to be mad, because there's a segment of men that don't want you. And this is the thing. And I think people got to understand, this is why you have disgruntled men leaving the country. It's because a lot of you heifers are not dateable. Who the hell would want you? Nobody except for these thirsty ass men who need a place to stay, who are bums. Those are the only men that will be dumb enough to have unprotected relations with you. Like, look at the house in the background. Does that look like it's in a bad neighborhood? No, but they're creating housing just like this for a lot of these broke, bummy heifers to move into.
She posted pictures of meals that she ate on Instagram when her kids were at home starving.
Wow.
She'll still have access to her kids after all this.
Appreciate that. She should be in prison, spending a lot of time in there for abandoning her children. But you see, they don't hold these women accountable. And that's why they get away with the things they get away with, because they're so used to not being held accountable. And that's why they get mad at content creators, because we're going to hold them accountable. And that's why they've been attacking us for years, because we hold them accountable. We do what society refuses to do. And we're going to continue to do it, whether they like it or not. A lot of you heifers are not worth marrying. You're not worth dating. Nobody really wants you except for to sleep with you. And if any man wants you other than that, then he's desperate. Some of you males are highly desperate, and you will sleep with anything. That woman is crazy. That she, is unhinged, that she don't take care of the children that she has, and you still have an unprotected relationship with them. You just as nutty as she is. It's according to The Sun. Urgent hunt for Texas mom Raven Yates, who abandoned their children, 3 and 12 years old, at home for 2 months in horrific conditions. A mother is wanted by police for allegedly abandoning. Allegedly, she did abandon her 2 children with barely any food for nearly 2 months. Raven Yates of Roman Forest, Texas, allegedly left her 12-year-old daughter and 3-year-old son at home alone at their home. See, look at their home. Does that look like that's in a bad neighborhood? They're building housing just like this for Raven Yates. There's a bunch of heifers like Raven Yates that they're building whole neighborhoods for, just so they can have housing, the type of housing they feel like these women deserve. These women do not deserve that. Do not deserve sympathy, and should not be given sympathy. They could fix their situations, but they refuse not to. They refuse not to. The mom reportedly left the children alone in late September, and they weren't discovered until nearly 2 months later. No food in the house, and everything was empty, said Roman Forest Police Chief Stephen Carlisle. There were some dry beans and spices. That was it. Told you, bum. Told you she was a bum. Investigators said the fridge and cabinets were nearly empty, and the toddler's room smelled heavy urine. A 12-year-old cannot take care of a 3-year-old for a long period of time, especially over a month and a half, said Carlisle. Did the 12-year-old go to school? Nobody noticed that the child wasn't going to school? It's dangerous and irresponsible of a parent without medical supplies or a way to get food. That's very dangerous. The children have different fathers, said police. Yates allegedly threatened her elder child that the girl's father would take her and leave her 3-year-old brother alone if she told him. Well, see, you'll see the manipulation. This stupid, goofy heifer told her daughter that if she were to call her father and tell him that he would take her and leave her brother behind. Y'all see the manipulation? Y'all see the manipulation? And this, I'm telling you, there's a lot of women there's a lot of Raven Yates out here in America. America's full of Raven Yates. But a lot of you males want us to pick from this. Y'all want us to pick from this. When there's a shit ton of Raven Yates all over the country. Afraid of her mother, the daughter would get her father to order food for the house by telling him that her mother was working. However, family members spotted Yates in Mobile, Alabama. And they spotted her in Alabama without the children and contacted the child's father. According to Carlisle, the 12-year-old's father, who lives in California, flew to Texas and called police when he learned of the children's living conditions. Carlisle added that the children had never been enrolled in school for an entire year they lived in Texas. So she was planning this.
Luckily, the kids didn't burn the house down.
Right. Appreciate that, CP Trucker. She had been planning this because she knew that if she enrolled them in the school, that if the girl wasn't going to school, they would know about it. So she was planning this. That's why she didn't enroll them in school. Yates has been charged with 2 counts of abandoning or endangering a child without intent to return, according to police. The Roman Forest Police Department is working with police in Alabama to find and arrest the mother. So she's in hiding. This woman should never have custody of any of her children ever again. Despite a warrant being out for her arrest, Yates has continued to post actively on social media. Wow. I told you these women are crazy. I told these women are loony, man. Yates is also the mother of a 14-year-old daughter who was reported as a runaway before Yates allegedly left her other children. All 3 children have been reunited, said police. They are all safe and are living with a family member. This is what pathetic looks like. This is a pathetic human being. You do not deserve to have children. You know, there are women out here who would love to be mothers. And for some reason, a lot of women like Raven Yates are allowed to have children. And what they do is that they destroy their children. If you didn't want to be a mother, stop opening your legs to different men.
Raven is Imp and a daughter of the Ogre.
Appreciate that, Swing Out. And they want us to stay in America and date heifers like this. Because this is the majority. This ain't the minority. It's the majority. Why you think the majority of these heifers are single? Because they're crazy. And they hate their children just as much as they hate the baby's father. They love to tell us, well, you men need to wear a protection. Well, I mean, she's the one that has to give the okay for that man to have sex with her. But that doesn't matter to you stupid people that want to not give these women any blame or any accountability. Well, she's going to be held accountable. And I want people to continue to hold her accountable.
Nurturing and caring, right, guys?
You say that, Sir Eudes. I hope she's put in jail for a very long time. She need to do a stint. She need to be in jail till them kids are 18. That would really make this whole situation more, come to a satisfying conclusion. You know, Mobile has a lot of trashy ladies there. Carrie Hilson is online defending the mother. Of course, because Carrie Hilson would probably do the same thing. That's why she would defend this. These women are gonna defend each other, man. I'm telling you. This woman probably was abusive to them kids, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because she's a woman and she should be respected. But the fact that women are defending her lets y'all know. I've told y'all, this is the majority. This ain't the minority. Raven Yates is the majority of these black women, like Carrie Hilson. They will all abandon their children too, because they got to have a life too. Well, stop opening your legs and having children. Say no, because a lot of you heifers can't say no. Y'all want to keep a man so bad that you're willing to have a child with them. This is the majority. This is why these women are not wife material and are not dating material. Don't blame me. Look at these heifers. You got women that are defending this. They are get your tubes tied if you don't want to be a mother. But the fact that she didn't do that lets you know that she doesn't care about herself or anybody else. She wants to bring life into the world so she can destroy it. These women love to destroy people around them because they are destroyed. Well, how about you get some therapy? You get absolutely no sympathy from me, because you know all these heifers got a story, right? They got a story. They want sympathy. You get absolutely no sympathy from me. I don't care about your story. I don't care about your past. I don't care about your childhood. It means nothing to me. You need to worry about yourself and the children that you brought into this world. What happened in the past means zero to me.
Gonna be buried under the prison, be put in the bad section of the prison. Her not putting her kids in school and abandoning them. CPS, county officers aren't gonna let her off easily.
Oh no. Appreciate that. And yes, she should definitely spend a significant amount of time behind bars, because if this was a man, y'all definitely would want him under the jail.